Have you ever woken up feeling like the day is already slipping through your fingers, leaving you overwhelmed and unprepared? What if I told you that mastering your mornings with just a few small changes could completely transform not only your day but your entire life? As the saying goes, win the morning, win the day. In this video, we're diving deep into 7 simple yet life-changing habits that will help you take control of your mornings and set the stage for a more productive, balanced, and fulfilling life. These aren't your typical overused tips. They're habits I've personally adopted, tested, and refined. Habits that have made a real difference in how I approach my day and how I feel about my life. I know it can be hard to believe that something so simple can have such a big impact. I was skeptical too, but once I started practicing these habits, I experienced a shift, more energy, sharper focus, and a sense of calm that carried me through even the busiest days. And the best part, these habits are practical, easy to start, and adaptable to any lifestyle. Whether you're looking to boost your productivity, find more peace in your mornings, or simply create a positive change in your life, this video is for you. I'll guide you step by step through each habit and share personal stories from my own journey to show you how they've worked for me and how they can work for you too. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's explore these 7 simple habits that can transform your mornings and ultimately your life. Stick around to the end, because the last habit is the one that ties everything together, and trust me, it's a game changer. Let's get started. 1. The life-changing power of waking up early. Waking up early was a habit that completely transformed my life. But I'll be honest, I wasn't always a morning person. I used to hit the snooze button repeatedly, dragging myself out of bed at the last possible second, rushing through my morning and starting the day feeling behind. Mornings felt chaotic, and I never had time for myself before the world demanded my attention. But when I finally decided to give early mornings a real chance, everything changed. The first few days were rough. I struggled to keep my eyes open and questioned whether it was worth it. But by the 3rd day, something incredible happened. I began to notice the quiet stillness of the early hours, a time when the world hadn't fully woken up yet. There was peace in the absence of distractions, and for the first time, I felt like I had full control over my morning. With those extra hours, I started making small but meaningful changes. Instead of rushing, I took time for my self-stretching, going for a short walk, or simply sitting with a cup of coffee in silence. I added meditation to my routine, just a few minutes of breathing and setting intentions for the day, but it made a huge difference in my mindset. The stress I used to carry from waking up late slowly faded, replaced by a sense of calm and focus. One morning, I stepped onto my balcony just as the sun was rising, and for the first time in a long time, I felt present. The world was quiet, the sky changed colors, and in that moment, I realized how much I had been missing by sleeping through these precious hours. That single experience made me appreciate not just waking up early, but the beauty of a slow, intentional start to the day. Another unexpected benefit was how much more productive I became. Without the rush, I had time to plan my day, set clear priorities, and ease into work instead of scrambling to catch up. It wasn't just about having more time, it was about using that time wisely. I felt more in control, more disciplined, and more energized throughout the day. Even my relationships improved because I wasn't carrying stress from the morning into my interactions. It made me wonder, How many people go through life never realizing the impact that a simple shift in their routine could have? If you've ever felt like your mornings are a blur of chaos, what would happen if you gave yourself just 15 extra minutes? I challenge you to try it. Start by waking up just a little earlier than usual, 15 minutes, then 30, and see how it feels. Use that time for yourself, whether it's journaling, reading, exercising, or just enjoying the quiet. Pay attention to how it affects your mindset, energy, and productivity. You might find, as I did, that waking up early isn't about losing sleep, it's about gaining clarity, focus, and a stronger sense of control over your life. If you're ready to make this change, drop a comment below. I will own my mornings. Let's commit to starting our days with intention, because the way you begin your morning shapes the way you live your life. 2. Move your body, transform your life. Daily exercise was a habit that completely changed my life, but I wasn't always the kind of person who enjoyed working out. I had every excuse in the book: too tired, too busy, too unmotivated. Sound familiar? But one day, I decided to stop waiting for the perfect time and made a commitment to move my body every single day, even if it was just for a few minutes. The first few days were tough. My muscles ached, I felt exhausted, and I questioned why I was even doing this. But then, something shifted. By the 4th day, I woke up feeling different, more energized, lighter, and mentally clearer. I realized that exercise wasn't just about losing weight or building muscle, it was about feeling alive. Those 20 minutes a day weren't a punishment, they were an investment in myself. I started small. Sometimes it was a short jog, other times it was yoga or strength training. I kept it interesting so I wouldn't get bored and give up halfway through. One morning, I went for a run, and something incredible happened. It was early, the air was crisp, and for the first time in a long time I felt completely present. No stress, no distractions, just me, my breath, and the open road. That feeling of freedom was something I had been missing, and I realized that exercise wasn't just transforming my body, it was healing my mind. Beyond the physical benefits, my mood improved drastically. I was less irritable, more positive, and I felt more in control of my emotions. It was as if movement was unlocking a part of me that had been stuck in a cycle of stress and exhaustion. Trying yoga was another unexpected game changer. I had always dismissed it, thinking it wasn't a real workout, but after a few sessions, I was hooked. Yoga taught me to slow down, breathe deeply, and listen to my body. It became more than just exercise, it was a way to reset my mind and reconnect with myself. That's when I realized that movement isn't just about fitness, it's about self-care. Taking care of my body directly impacted my mental health and overall happiness. It wasn't about punishing myself for what I ate or forcing myself through brutal workouts. It was about finding movement that I actually enjoyed and making it a regular part of my life. So, if you're struggling to get started, don't overthink it. Start small. Find something you enjoy: dancing, hiking, stretching, even a simple walk. Commit to just 5 or 10 minutes a day and build from there. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Trust me, the benefits go far beyond how you look. You'll feel stronger, more confident, and more in tune with yourself. If you're ready to make a change, drop a comment below. I commit to moving daily. Let's take this step together, because caring for your body is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. 3. Eat mindfully. Mindful eating was a habit that completely changed the way I viewed food, but for a long time, I was guilty of treating meals as an afterthought. Like many people, I ate in a rush, grabbing food on the go, multitasking with my phone or laptop, barely registering what I was consuming. I didn't realize how much this mindless eating was affecting my health, energy, and overall well-being until I committed to eating with full awareness for 1 week. The first step was creating a calm, distraction-free environment. I cleared my dining table, put my phone away, and sat down with my meal, fully present. At first, the silence felt strange, but soon it became a ritual of appreciation. I started each meal with a deep breath, bringing my attention to the moment, and what happened next was surprising. I actually tasted my food. Flavors I had never noticed before became vibrant. The crunch of fresh vegetables, the sweetness of ripe fruit, the warmth of freshly brewed tea was like experiencing food in high definition. Meals that were once routine became small moments of joy. Beyond the taste, mindful eating also changed how I felt after meals. By slowing down and listening to my body's signals, I realized I didn't need to eat as much to feel satisfied. In the past, I would eat quickly and often overeat, not recognizing fullness until it was too late. But by chewing slowly and savoring every bite, I gave my body the time to communicate when I had enough. One simple but powerful moment happened with a bowl of oatmeal, something I had eaten mindlessly for years. This time, I took my time, noticing the creamy texture, the subtle sweetness of honey, the warmth in each spoonful. It became more than just breakfast. It was a moment of gratitude, a reminder of how much we take food for granted. Another unexpected benefit was becoming aware of how different foods made me feel. I noticed that processed, heavy foods left me sluggish, while whole, fresh foods gave me energy and clarity. Instead of forcing myself to eat healthy, I naturally started choosing foods that made me feel good. But mindful eating wasn't just about nutrition. It also helped me recognize my emotional connection to food. I became aware of when I was eating out of boredom, stress, or habit rather than true hunger. One evening, after a long day, I craved something sweet. Instead of reaching for dessert automatically, I paused and asked myself, am I actually hungry, or am I just looking for comfort? I realized I wasn't hungry at all, and instead I made a warm cup of herbal tea. That small moment of awareness changed everything. It gave me control over my choices instead of letting habits dictate them. If you want to experience this for yourself, start with just one meal a day. Sit down without distractions, take a deep breath, and truly engage with your food. Notice the flavors, textures, and how the meal makes you feel. Pay attention to your hunger and fullness signals, and ask yourself why you're eating. Is it true hunger or something else? You might be surprised at how much this small habit changes your relationship with food. If you're ready to eat with more awareness, drop a comment below. I choose to eat mindfully. Because food isn't just fuel, it's an experience, a connection to our body, and a source of nourishment that deserves our full attention. 4. Journaling, a conversation with yourself. For the longest time, I thought journaling was something only highly introspective. People did something reserved for those with extra time on their hands. I couldn't understand how writing down thoughts could make a real difference in life. But 1 week of consistent journaling completely changed my perspective, and it quickly became a tool for personal growth that I now can't imagine living without. I started small, just 10 minutes before bed, with a simple notebook and pen. No fancy apps, no pressure to write beautifully, just an honest space to express myself. At first, I wasn't sure what to write. The blank page felt intimidating, so I kept it basic. I wrote about my day, what made me happy, what stressed me out, and anything lingering on my mind. But as the days passed, something shifted. My thoughts began to flow more freely, and I started uncovering patterns in my emotions, fears, and aspirations. One night, after a particularly stressful day at work, I poured my frustrations onto the page. Writing about what upset me and how I felt brought an immediate sense of relief, as if I had untangled the mess in my mind. More importantly, I could see solutions more clearly, what was within my control, what wasn't, and how I could respond better next time. This simple act of reflection made me feel more in control of my emotions instead of being overwhelmed by them. Another powerful moment came when I started tracking my progress. I wrote about small victories like preparing for a presentation that once terrified me, and later, reading back on those entries, I saw how much I had grown. Even on difficult days, seeing proof of my resilience kept me motivated. Beyond self-reflection, journaling also shifted my focus toward gratitude. I dedicated a section to writing down 3 things I was grateful for each day. At first, they were small morning coffee, a kind word from a friend, but over time, I realized how much joy was hidden in the everyday moments I used to overlook. One particularly memorable entry was about a stranger helping me carry my groceries when I was struggling. Writing it down made me appreciate the kindness around me, and it inspired me to be more mindful of how I could extend kindness to others. Journaling became more than just a habit. It was a safe space where I could be completely honest with myself, without judgment. It helped me gain clarity on my goals, process difficult emotions, and shift my mindset toward growth and positivity. If you've never tried journaling, I encourage you to start. Don't overthink it, just write whatever comes to mind, whether it's a recap of your day, random thoughts, or even a single sentence about how you're feeling. It's not about writing perfectly or having profound insights, it's about creating a space for self-reflection. You might be surprised at how much clarity and peace it brings into your life. If you're ready to give it a try, drop a comment below. I will start journaling today. Let's take this journey of self-discovery together, because sometimes the most important conversation you can have is the one with yourself. 5. Practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude was a simple habit that completely changed the way I viewed life. Like many people, I used to focus on what I lacked or what wasn't going right, which left me feeling constantly unsatisfied. But when I committed to actively practicing gratitude for just 1 week, everything shifted. I started small, writing down 3 things I was grateful for each morning. At first, they were little things: the warmth of my coffee, the fresh air during my morning walk, a kind text from a friend. But the more I practiced, the more I realized that gratitude wasn't just about recognizing the good moments, it was about training my mind to see the positive, even in challenging situations. One morning, I was overwhelmed by a looming work deadline, and stress was clouding my entire day. But when I sat down to write my gratitude list, I forced myself to find 3 things to appreciate. I wrote about how lucky I was to work on something I cared about, the support I had from my team, and the fact that I had a quiet space to focus. That simple shift in perspective didn't erase my workload, but it made it feel manageable. It reminded me that stress and gratitude can coexist. It's just a matter of what you choose to focus on. Beyond writing lists, I also started expressing gratitude more openly. I made an effort to thank the people around me, not just in passing, but in a way that was intentional and meaningful. A quick thank you to a colleague, a heartfelt message to a friend, or even a small note to a mentor who had guided me through tough times. One of the most memorable moments came when I wrote a thank you letter to someone who had supported me early in my career. I had never truly expressed how much their guidance meant to me, and when I finally did, their response was incredibly moving. It reminded me that gratitude isn't just about making yourself feel good. It has the power to deepen relationships and bring people closer. The more I practiced gratitude, the more mindful I became. I stopped rushing through life, always chasing the next goal, and instead started noticing the beauty in everyday moments. The way the morning light streamed through my window, the laughter of strangers in a cafe, the peaceful silence of the night after a long day. These were things that had always been there, but I had been too distracted to truly see them. Gratitude didn't just make me happier, it made me more present. If you want to experience this shift for yourself, start small. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how big or small. Take a moment to appreciate the little joys that often go unnoticed. And don't just keep gratitude to yourself, express it. Tell someone how much they mean to you. Thank the people in your life sincerely and often. Because gratitude isn't just a habit, it's a way of seeing the world. If you're ready to bring more gratitude into your life, drop a comment below. I choose to see the good. Let's start recognizing the beauty around us, one grateful moment at a time. 6. Take back your time. Limiting screen time was one of the hardest but most rewarding changes I made. Like many people, I had fallen into the habit of filling every spare moment with mindless scrolling, binge-watching, or endlessly checking emails. It felt normal after all. We live in a digital world. But over time, I realized that all this screen time was draining my energy, hurting my focus, and even affecting my sleep. So, I decided to set boundaries and see what would happen. I started small, limiting my non-work-related screen time to just 1 hour a day. No endless YouTube spirals, no scrolling through social media out of boredom, and no screens before bed. At first, it was uncomfortable. I caught myself reaching for my phone automatically, realizing how deeply ingrained the habit was. But then, something incredible happened. I suddenly had so much more time. Without screens consuming my attention, I found myself rediscovering hobbies I had forgotten about. I picked up books I had been meaning to read, experimented with new recipes, and even started drawing again, something I hadn't done since childhood. One evening, instead of watching television after dinner, I took a walk in the park. The crisp air, the rustling trees, and the feeling of simply moving without distraction felt refreshing in a way I hadn't experienced in a long time. That one walk turned into a nightly ritual, something I genuinely looked forward to. The biggest change, however, came in my sleep. I used to take my phone to bed, scrolling until I felt tired, only to struggle with restless sleep. But when I replaced screens with a simple bedtime routine, reading a physical book, reflecting on my day, or meditating, I noticed a dramatic improvement in how well I slept. I woke up feeling rested, clear-headed, and far more energized. Cutting down screen time didn't just give me better sleep, it gave me back my mental clarity. Without the constant flood of social media updates and digital noise, I felt less anxious and more present. I could focus better in conversations, enjoy moments without feeling the need to document them, and engage more deeply with the people around me. One of the most eye-opening experiences was spending an entire afternoon at a cafe with just a notebook and a pen. No phone, no distractions, just my thoughts. I wrote down goals, sketched out ideas, and simply enjoyed being in the moment. It was peaceful, productive, and a reminder of how much creativity and self-reflection get buried under screen time. Of course, there were moments of temptation. I won't pretend I never slipped. But each time I caught myself reaching for my phone out of habit, I paused and reminded myself why I started. The benefits far outweighed the fleeting distraction. Limiting screen time isn't about completely cutting out technology, it's about creating a healthier balance. If you've ever felt drained by constant notifications or disconnected from real life, I encourage you to start small. Try reducing screen time by an hour each day and use that time for something that truly enriches you. Whether it's reconnecting with a hobby, having a deep conversation, or simply being present, you'll be amazed at how much more fulfilling life feels when you take back control of your time. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below. I choose presence over screens. Let's reclaim our attention and start living more intentionally. 7. Finding balance in a digital world. Creating digital balance was a habit that changed my life in ways I never expected. Like most people, I was constantly surrounded by screen-checking notifications, scrolling endlessly, and juggling multiple devices at once. It felt normal, but over time, I realized it was draining my energy, shortening my attention span, and leaving me feeling mentally cluttered. My mind was always racing, my focus was scattered, and even in moments of rest, I found myself reaching for my phone out of habit. That's when I knew something needed to change. I started by setting small boundaries, beginning with my most cluttered digital space, my phone. I cleared out unused apps, turned off unnecessary notifications, and organized my home screen to make it feel less overwhelming. Almost immediately, I noticed a difference. Without constant interruptions, I felt more present in my daily life, more in control of my time, and less reactive to every buzz and ping. Next, I took control of my social media habits. I unfollowed accounts that no longer added value to my life and set specific times to check my feeds rather than mindlessly scrolling whenever I was bored. At first, it felt strange, almost like I was missing out, but soon I realized I wasn't missing anything important. In fact, I was gaining something far more valuable: peace of mind. Instead of consuming endless content, I started using that time for things that truly enriched me: reading, journaling, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. One of the biggest breakthroughs came when I created a tech-free zone in my bedroom. I had developed the habit of scrolling late into the night, which left me wired and restless. So, I replaced screens with a simple bedtime routine: reading a book, stretching, or just reflecting on my day. The result? Deeper sleep, clearer mornings, and a sense of calm I hadn't felt in a long time. But digital balance wasn't just about cutting back, it was about being intentional with my screen time. I started using my devices for purposeful activities like learning new skills, listening to podcasts, and connecting meaningfully with friends rather than just reacting to notifications. The more mindful I became, the more I realized that technology wasn't the problem, it was how I was using it. One day, instead of spending my afternoon online, I went for a walk without my phone. I noticed details I had overlooked before: the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of my footsteps, the sound of birds in the distance. That simple act of being present reminded me how much life exists beyond the screen. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the digital world, I encourage you to take small steps toward balance. Start by decluttering your digital space: turn off non-essential notifications, limit social media time, or create a screen-free zone at home. Pay attention to how these changes make you feel. Do you feel more present, more in control, more connected to the world around you? Digital balance isn't about eliminating technology, it's about using it wisely in a way that enhances your life instead of controlling it. If this message resonates with you, drop a comment below. I choose digital balance. Let's take back our time, attention, and mental space one intentional choice at a time. Success and inner peace are built through small, consistent actions, and these 7 habits, waking up early, exercising, journaling, mindful eating, limiting screen time, practicing gratitude, and decluttering, have the power to transform your life. The best part? You don't have to change everything at once. Start with just one habit, make it a part of your daily routine, and watch how it positively impacts your mindset and well-being. Progress matters more than perfection, and even the smallest changes can lead to powerful results over time. Which of these habits are you excited to try? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to Stoic Philosophical Community for more insights on building a life of wisdom, discipline, and peace. Let's take this journey together, one habit at a time.